Kongot missing chitab calling testai igere ketesiet noton nebo Kass TV. Tetutik ko noton nebo Mungaret ak Bandaptai anan biashara Wednesday ne tunen kila kasitab somok en ketesiet ne ichame nebo Kass TV. Gemi Twan Shadrack Mutai kainenyu nebitab raini gemiten ak Sami Chelimo Chelanga Penge inendet ko enge in officials choton chebo Kupet. Ko magebe kamung'et bwana Chelanga ko katomo kewol kotinge ak ng'alekab digazitment nebo hardship areas. What plans has the union put in place at the same time public participation of course aginyo noton nekabo towards waletab ng'atutiet nekamo wal karanisir noton in line with the international labor laws.
Kasir.
Yes.
Agere ngalechu bo hardship zones. Ko hardship allowance. Ko yemi nguni ko product nebo legal notice number 534 nebo 1998. You remember the prolonged strike led by Kenyuti that time. Wakati ni kibo Ambrose Adongo.
Yes.
And it gave birth to legal notice 534 which guaranteed teachers a percentage of their basic salary called hardship allowance. So amaja mwa ale this hardship allowance is a right, and according to labor laws also is that it is against the law and is against policies, employment policies to affect the earnings chebo mfanyakazi negatively.
Yes.
Because these teachers, I don't think that the situations and the hardships in most of these regions have changed.
Yes.
Mawalagis. Ango magiboishen kityo gele amu kiet barabara kabartunjo. Kiet barabara barwesa. Gele hardship. Right now there's the issue of rainfall, there's the issue of also land, topography, arable land, and generally the cost of living. Everything has gone up in terms of cost. Ango masikini and government, colleagues even wage bill, the wage bill, by denying teachers their rightful allowance about hardship. So this proposal has not been gazetted. There has never been public participation. And I do not think that anyone who is in his sound mind or who knows also how things are supposed to be done will implement this. So, amaja lunjugo netik como situazi wazi, amo kimi the entire union ketia agelenji serikali ololo masikini ke digazeten zones che cham konyoru hardship allowances. Because if you look at even areas like Kilifi, Nyatike, areas that are in Bomet, even areas that are in Baringo, in fact, because of the high cost of living and the hardships that these teachers face. To me, we have just come from talking about insecurity. Such teachers need even an incentive
True.
so that they can be teaching in those areas. In the TSE, call these areas hard to staff. That means that the teachers, when they are posted to these areas, ordinarily, teachers are supposed to teach non-stop for 3 years and above, up to 5 years, without asking for transfer. Like in Nguni, you post a teacher to some areas of Baringo North, or even Tiati, or even Turkana. After even a few months and some even a few days, a teacher asks for transfer. And unfortunately also, because teachers are also people who are ambitious, some of them even seek for green pastures.
Yeah.
We have even had some applying to go outside the country, and some of them have succeeded. Even some of them have gotten green cards. It's because they are running away from these hardships.
Yes,
so as a union, ke challenge ne serikali kutestai kulaban hardships ongo tes mshara ongo areas chimito nguni the ones that are gazetted must continue receiving hardship allowance and there are also other areas like Kieni in Nyeri. You know, there are also other hardships. You know, some people think that hardship call a momiro up the land. But there are areas like Nyandarua where it is very cold. Some areas even in Tumbarua. Very cold areas. Go to West Pokot. There are some areas which are very cold. During the day, lazima uweke jiko hapo. That's a hardship. That's a hardship.
Okay.
So, and specifically, I believe Japan has asked on behalf of many teachers.
Yes.
On what the union is doing.
Okay.
And we are going to use every avenue to ensure that these allowances are safeguarded.
Okay.
Yes.
Kongoi. Ngebe nota nebo the process followed by the coupe towards changing the constitution lawful.
Yes, Kimwe and even just like the constitution of the country, it is a live document. You know, it is supposed to serve the members. It is supposed to be tailored so that it allows best practices, best governance practices. So at one time or another, kewale katiba, nebo gore and nebo union.
Lene ne ngatutik en walet ab katiba. Utinde agokwe autonomy o wal gokwe ken
no
acho involved.
Kiwale katiba ko tone ko desa process. Awi ge bunungun. Angebe barak. It is a bottom-up approach, where ordinary members come we want our union to be like this. And these, they raise during the branch general assemblies. After the branch general assemblies, the branch governing council meet, and it is also escalated to the branch executive committee, which has members wale wana attend annual delegates conference. And even before that, proposals are taken to the governing council, which advise the board, and they ratify and they tell the board, this is the voice of the teacher on the ground. This is the voice of the classroom teacher. Then after the board looking at this, it is taken now to the annual delegates conference, where it is read and proposed, and the members, more than 2/3 of the members, ratify through a vote. And I want to say that we went through this process, and to some extent, mi tebutik chechang, konetik chechang, kofile negole, they were not involved.
Kiki amata like your press conference call you are in office legally. The process.
No, you know that was about our 2021 elections. Going in 2021, if you remember, COVID, and all the protocols for that time did not allow physical meetings, did not allow people to gather. And I remember even that same year, you give a AGM, Nebalam, and you know, we found 10
physical meeting.
Yes, but the authorities that time asked us, among them in Lam, we had just to board the plane and get back to Nairobi without having to have the meeting. So, and also, it was mandatory that in 2021 we were supposed to have a national office. Our term had expired, and so we sought legal advice so that we could conduct our elections virtually.
Kongwe. Chang debutuk bwana Sami Chelimo. Miaga ngeni miona masi walu sige bengalega Facebook. Why are Tari's hell-bent on remaining at the union leadership?
There is always a time to come in the leadership, and there is a time to leave. And this is stipulated by also the constitutions of various unions, and Kupet is not left behind. Earlier on, Kimami ni kile retirement clause in the constitution of Kupet. But at the moment, we have a retirement clause.
Yes.
That means that those of us who are young, because I am a young leader in Kupet, I'm actually the youngest in the national office.
So time before
and I'm really looking forward that time among the Jimmy Tai Guni and Geni Shega, on your organic porunda, go no conit togol to me to branches, going the national level. My jitogol konyoru. But there's time for everyone and time for, of course, to get in and to exit. And our union constitution at the moment, go retirement age, go 65 years. 65 years. And it is elective. So all this time, go teachers have issues with it. And, you know, union constitution is made by the members through their representatives. It is the governing council which also brought all they ratified this, and also it was ratified during annual delegates conference. And I want to say that because I'm in the national office, and I know the retirement age is 65 years. Yet 65 years, if there is anyone, negotiate 65 years, I have not seen anyone who has that intention to continue staying in the office. But also, apart from the number of years, there is also elections. And this, the people who are even being said to be retirees, we are all going to face elections next year. And I believe the teachers will also have an opportunity to elect the branch officials who will later on come and elect the national officials. So if someone is selected and is still within the age brackets of up to 65 years, I don't think that anyone will have an issue with it, because it is in our constitution, and it is backed by law. It is also backed by the labor laws. In fact, labor laws don't have the retirement clause. There's no capping on the age. But as a professional union, as a union that also understands that there is always an age where you can deliver better, and where you need to also to rest, we have put it at 65. And it stays there.
Okay.
Yes.
Nge mwana lega promotion nebo konetik. Nangumi ngunyat abwati ngoma logo gi issue statement ngene KNUT.
Yes.
Kumwe wala mawewe engine lega itong lega promotion. Tuwe njo mate benagenge ko lega promotion noton nebo konetik nebo oeng ko lega kokoitoetab TSC. Ka wakya bik agumong gotoga so kupet ko lega lianga genam kyalda paronok chebo TSC. Kalian wabunge chikikochin paronokab TSC ngomile mpaka kwalda. Kale kelda 300 400 mo wabungo na makelda ko mo raya go lacha ko walde ba isin proxies likimo ko mi ngale chuentai so kwa go nde le ngo chi ne matindo connection ak chi ne mondo chepkondo chu promotion angale gap TSC chenyuru kilia na ni ri gaita gaile ki o na remember gita en kasarta mo shugo nigile ki boate en tuyeta gele ngana mo cha go chi o give me a very nice plan and I nigile kinamne logap pickup 99 ke bo chibana 2001 ko noton kere bi so I mean in the case ko why wara ko tasta ko lusan hope I work disparate connect.
Yes, so ngatone ngel promotion ko amaja mo ale only namtoy ngalega promotion the employer no TSC is at unajua meeting ngalega CBE amaja mo TSC TSC yes igurens CBE and there is a grading. I want to say that the Teacher Service Commission has performed below expectation in terms of promoting teachers. There are many teachers who are demoralized. You know, there is also some unfairness where a teacher teaches a student, awo iko tar form 4, kwa college, kwa teaching, kwa kunyo kunetis, ago the teacher where the student is now coming back.
Yeah.
But at the moment, there are students who have gone, they have come back to teach in the same stations, and they have overtaken their teachers. Not because these teachers are bad. Not because they are not performing, but their system about promotion does not guarantee teachers who have stayed even for long in the profession to get promotions. So the Teachers Service Commission needs to pull up its socks and motivate teachers, give teachers hope that, yes, if you're employed today, in the next 3 years, you should go to another job group. It's actually, that is how it is supposed to be. After every 3 years, one is supposed to go for a promotion interview and get promoted without having to go through the frustrations that teachers are going through. I know teachers who have gone for promotions 4 times, or more than 4 times. Sometimes they get regret, sometimes they don't get. No one explains to them why in the first interview they missed, in the second interview, there are no explanations. So these teachers are asking themselves, are we in the wrong profession? Why are we not even recognized after serving all these years? There are teachers who are almost retiring. One is 60 years. And his or her student has gone even 2 job groups ahead of that teacher. So the criteria of promotion needs to be looked into, and the government must also prioritize this in terms of budgeting. We have our MPs. We are telling the MPs and even those who are in the education committee that as they do budgeting, they should also give enough resources for the TSC to promote more teachers. You know, they recently promoted over 25,000 teachers. We thought, at least for the first time, that was a good number for the Teacher Service Commission to promote these teachers. But you see, that 25,000 is a drop in the ocean because the total number of teachers who have not been promoted, who are waiting for promotions, is 130,000. 130,000. So if you promote 25,000, what of the other 110?
Yes.
Only 105,000. So, a big issue, and I want to say, for the first time, the Teacher Service Commission has considered teachers who teach in marginalized areas. Earlier on, when you would think of getting a principal to be posted to a big school, to a national school, they would come from areas that are densely populated. Because they have big schools, they have a big number of students, and sometimes because they perform better. But the schools in the villages, the schools down there in Samburu, in Lamu, in northeastern, in these marginalized areas, they have been disadvantaged.
Yeah.
And I want to say that for the first time, they saw the TSC remembering them by the TSC giving equal number of promotions to every counties. And I know my colleagues in the union, we were also thinking that it should have been prorated. If it was prorated, it would still disadvantage teachers who teach in marginalized areas. Now I want to say, even with this equal number of promotion opportunities that have been given to all counties, the teachers who got these promotions deserved. No one can be said to have gotten promotion out of any favors. They merited. And there are other 110,000 teachers who merit, and they were not promoted. Some of them are in densely populated areas. And I want to ask, and then we are still calling on the TSC, that we will not ask them to recall this list, this promotion list, but we are going to ask the Teacher Service Commission and the government to give more slots to teachers.
And in a fair manner.
Yes, in a fair manner, so that these teachers can also get promoted.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's look at TSC.
Yes, TSC. Now, I want to say that the TSC is an independent commission. It has a mandate to register and to manage teachers. whatever we are saying to employ, to register, to employ, and to manage. But at the moment, it is very unfortunate that a commission whose role is known, and it's even in the constitution, has allowed its role and duties to be taken by politicians, political class. You know, the other day, I don't have evidence to that. Even if it was not sold, it is wrong for other entities to be dishing out employment forms.
Yes.
It is a teacher service commission which is supposed to be employing these teachers through competitive interviews.
Yes.
Where teachers are supposed to compete for them, and the criterion, and the teachers even know this. There are teachers who have missed opportunities because of this way that has crept in, that has come in where MPs have taken forms and they are the ones dishing out in the villages. They will leave someone who graduated in 2015 and they will give to someone who graduated the other day in 2025, which is very, very unfair. Which is very, very unfair.
So, Chang maswali kabaten kalabat kasarta kinde ko sio muta sio muchki wangun tabanyang Collins kala walimu kujeni hapa kaniti ko wano kasa sio mwawak sami ko latindo ne en okwe ka mun kina macha teben ko notan kasi tab ko pet enjo tugul ka gem ta wichi ba ko pet ngalab security ngalega health cover na tom garasi tin ngalega working environment ngalega allowances ko ne boy setup ko pet ko toret enjo ta tugul suma yigit ko wan kirir tozi ni na mami an sengo masingo honorable Justin Chelugo Gale Penge, Nikki Cheron watching live, Honorable Sami Chelanga Penge Juice say something about Baringo. Baringo. I'm metap Kali. Cheruyat KE getting louder and clear. Honorable Sami Chelanga is eloquent and articulate leader. Mbarikiwa pongezi Penge Juice sema jambo kuhusu Baringo North Race. Okay, mwasima na watan mwanga inangen pia Baringo. Luka Yatiani kale ni mikakati gani mnaweza chukua kama idara ya walimu kukisha usala kage mwana bogina much kwa iko peta aso toret ngalega kama je ko ita gurset ne bogi gimit kaliet enju kage matugol embe to tab raine ne boisiet na gun gorang 1 minute ngalega health cover ne boldos gonetik
health cover health cover just like security. You know, teachers and their families must enjoy good health. A healthy teacher who has a healthy family will deliver to the children.
Yeah.
And when the health cover or the health insurance cover for teachers is not certain, is not being offered, is not being run properly according to the expectations of teachers, the teachers get demoralized, they get disturbed because in so many occasions they have been inconvenienced. You know, I remember in the CBA where we negotiated with the government and the government agreed to withdraw the health allowance and agreed to give a health cover to teachers. We expected the government to really take care of teachers because the teachers forfeited their health and medical allowance. And at some point, some teachers are even saying, why don't we be given back our medical allowance so that we'll be going to dispensaries, we'll be going to hospitals, and we pay for these medical services knowing that we are receiving our pay.
Yes.
But right now they are not receiving that money, and the government, through TSE and through the underwriter, which is Mungaret at the moment, they have really frustrated teachers.
Kiwa mwagoneti wala matindo Mungaret kamuget kanan capacity konya goneti chu. What was the process korong tagi goita this kigochi the award?
The process is usually undertaken by the government through the employer, which is the Teacher Service Commission. So I believe the Mungaret, together with other underwriters, gave their bids. and
they won.
Mungaret won, and in several years. And for some time up to now, teachers have never known any other underwriter. We have been asking the government, the TSC, they are telling them, why don't you try the time when NHIF was there? We told the government, please take us to NHIF, let teachers be covered by NHIF so that we can even see the difference. Right now, there is a SHA, and it's unfortunate that the other day, we got different messages from government officials. The TSC was saying that SHA has refused to cover teachers. And then the other side, SHA is saying that they are covering teachers and they are ready to even give services to teachers. But we believe that with the coming in of SHA, we are still not yet satisfied with the services of Mungaret, where teachers are supposed to sit for a whole day waiting for authorization, where even during discharge, teachers are the ones who are discharged after all the others. And at some point also, the government has not been remitting the monies to the service providers. And we've had issues, even to hospitals. And then we've had, for a long time, Tenwek has had an issue, Tenwek Hospital, which is also one of the best hospitals in the South Rift, and serving even up to Nyanza. And when the government does not pay, does not give money to Mungaret to pay for these services, it affects the teachers directly.
Would the laying a capitation? How does it affect you equally go on it?
Capitation, I think the other day, the government, after the strike, agreed to give 11 billion to top up what teachers were giving so that this cover is enhanced. But you see, that was just in word. But we are yet to experience enhancement and improvement of this cover, courtesy of this 11 billion, which is said to have been, which the government promised to give. But according to us, because the money is not being paid, many hospitals, many service providers are not being paid. That is why teachers are still having a problem with this cover. We are saying, afadhali hii cover kuliko no cover.
Okay.
Kaiga kumea cover because there are also testimonies.
Okay,
yes.
Okay. Junior secondary, kije sasa endaga baten nguno watu junior secondary. Okay, return in terms of infrastructure chiko nde serikali. Miga muget and try and error.
Junior school, amaja mwa ale agiri sometimes aroti uruma la gojimi grade 9, la gojimi grade 8,
ansatenda
grade 7. And you see how the government has been trying. You know, we have taken, you know, in many instances, we have seen these children, the government is using them as guinea pigs to test how this system is going to work or is. So, in a way, we are not doing justice to these young children, this young generation. Private schools could be trying, but I fear, or in public schools, where they are not adequately funded. This CBC, or we call CBE, is an expensive curriculum.
Yes.
You have to have facilities. You have to have adequate teachers. Right now, how many music teachers are in JSs? How many French teachers do we have in our public JS? How many woodwork or metalwork? How many electricity or this ones we call pre-technical? Very few.
Yes.
Or even can even be nil. How many public primary or how many junior schools have swimming pools or tennis courts or a basketball pitch? Yet we have to teach these children these sports, games, and art. Mommy, that's when this curriculum it is trial and error.
Okay.
And it all stops at policy formulation, where someone wakes up in the morning and an idea comes to his mind, And then he just comes and said, this is the policy. We are changing. We're no longer calling CBC, we are calling CBE. We are no longer calling junior secondary school. We now change to junior school. But they should listen to professionals. And I want to say, by the grace of God, I am a student of education philosophy.
Okay.
We need to have a philosophy of education as a country, as a people. And that philosophy must be stuck to. And people who are conversant with education. We do comparative education, we find out if we are borrowing from another country or another region, we must do proper benchmarking. We must do proper piloting so that when we are introducing to our children, we know, and this is something which has been tried and tested, and we are sure that it will work.
Kongot missing.
Yes.
Kato chang maswali sa chelimo shelanga kamane waranga lega kimiten chikibo Presidential Working Party katakena kelkiwa itigere ngwang. Kitindo bike chang kole yei President William Ruto ngecheret komuch koitlet ngalega CBC amgimwa kole mami ngamuget yata ngomwa kole yenen kagile squeeze wazazi mnafanya kazi ya watoto kubaten kima wot kelenge magisto waten mwele much kaitaget na much kuanga wala ida taget sta ko not an giwentai in your closing remarks kechok imwa one paisiet the union work relevance ne git no enje tukula muna at the end of the day go white hope mele in gone tek mo ni tai kage mangat lega insecurity lega safety lega health care lega environment wala at badet kechok ge bende tai girte on lega somane to ko sama singo dal camera.
So, ngalekam somanet in Kenya, ko tesetai, kigere tesetap tai, ago the other day, we had a stakeholders forum where the products of the county discussions on education matters, especially touching on CBC, were discussed, and findings, Chebo, these county forums was shared. And one of the issues that was shared was even the case of mathematics, where some people wanted mathematics to be shelved and said it's not compulsory. But right now, after the stakeholders forum, we have now concluded that, and the ministry has also agreed that mathematics is supposed to be compulsory at all levels. So the way the ministry is working, it is trying. But it still has a lot to do in listening to the children, listening to the teachers, and listening to the members of the public before introduction of any policy. So the element of public participation, where you also look at the needs of the society, which also is being addressed by the new curriculum. But there is hope that when all of us coming together, we share ideas, and these ideas are also embraced by the policy, those who formulate policy and those who implement the curriculum. And I believe that the education sector will do well. And the government is actually trying. It's only that the other day, Bwana Shadrack, tunasikia ati labda hao watainiwa wetu, wakipsea, KJSEA, na hata KCSE, wanajitayarisha kwa mtihani ile unasema ya hewa tu. Ile it's more budgeting. Yes. So we are asking the government that if this country is to change, it begins from a good system of education, quality education, and of course there should be budgeting for all levels and all programs of education, including assessment, the summative assessment of students. So we are asking the government, let it not even be debatable.
Okay.
The government must budget enough monies so that Kenya National Examination Council can prepare examinations. Now, yes.
Mama role mbarikiwa kutoka mwa mama chatepki na tebe nenda pongezi juu. Akala pongezi penge juu. Sema jambo kuhusu Baringo North Race. Mongen ko me comfortable mwana na comfortable chebe Salome Jemu honorable penge Baringo North hopefully 2027. Muchi mwana chokigeso ne.
Kongoi. So nguni ko mi ngalekap union. Ke tetiane konetik ke ngalonen ngalekap somanet, and I want to say that ogilionde nebo konetik ko union. We have KUPPET and we also have other unions in the education sector. And we are going to speak for the teacher with all our hearts, with all our minds. We are going to ensure that the teachers have a voice through us. And in this case, I'm a representative of teachers in KUPPET. We are going to speak for teachers. And I want to appreciate big up Aringonot usaro messages good tips so alage kole lini ne benge am ngale kap 2027 ka no ne ga mwa ale kigojini nafasi kigojini boroinda mbunge ni misai kuyeiboishi lakini igere kage to kamamgel jibo jeporor ko abaja mwa ale yebe ka jibo jeporor kol awegishe ka omeja mwa ale yemi bi jungolo nyine jiba jeboror sero ku mot penyitab 2027 ko agenge angoni mi tai en kazi nebo 2027 ku penge omeja mwa ale magetab Jehova amu kiaga tugul ko bo Jehova magetab Jehova ko mogoro miten so big che kase je gere Kass TV en Kass kolungune para ale amiten angosome sauti kwa angosome leye ale angebe tugul pamoja anamani angamutan agoi bunge ko ya tetiane konetik nguni ko hena la mudron ngani atetian biga Baringo North amu chang tuguk mi ngalekab security mi ngalekab maendeleo mi ngalekab gut ke tuyo biik pamoja sige ngalekab Bandaptai kutina ko amiten ngo magiwe ke ngalalen ngalekab tesetab tai nebo emi ngo kiaga tugul bana Shadrack inaanzia na kumalizia uongozi.
Kongoi ketaren kunot chitab kolenjin kalabat kasarta. Kagolion Caroleting kiition en nguni amun en komalo koitum kora program age neisubi chitab kolenjin kainenyu ko Shadrack Mutai ko kimiten ak Sami Chelimo Chelanga na missing en biikab Baringo Penge inendet ko boisie en KUPPET kakomoche kenai missing maboisie inendet ko agenge en union members chebo KUPPET kakomoche kenai kotinygei ak kit nemwoe en ngalekab konetik missing ko noton nekomwa konetik kole machamdoo kisto komoswek 44 chekimwoe kele makomii ele ui anan ele ng'oi chebo hardship area komwoe kole fighten akoi let chitab kolenjin ngiition en nguni amagun kage tugul nemie ak lion kititosi tuan en betab mutai en tetut noton nebo tililindo.